You're welcome once again to new focused approach to mathematics basic 8. This is the revised edition, and in this lesson we are looking at the scalar multiplication of vectors. Now we are looking at scalar multiplication of vectors. What it means is that if I have a scalar, let's say 2, and it is to multiply a particular vector, which of course, let's say if the vector is xy, then what it means is that 2 is going to multiply the vector xy. And by scalar multiplication, the 2 will multiply the x to give you 2x, and 2 will multiply the y to give you 2y. So the result becomes the scalar product or the scalar multiplication of the vector. Okay, now let's use the graphical means to explain further. Now here we have a vector called vector u, and vector u is 3, 2, and you can see that from A we have 1, 2, 3, and then upwards we go 1, 2, so that becomes 3, 2. Then we have a new vector called vector v. But what is happening here is that I scaled up the vector u by 2, and if the vector u is 3, 2, then multiplying 2 by the vector u will result the vector 6, 4. And what it means is that it extends the length of the vector. Anytime you multiply a vector by scalar, you increase the length of the vector. And so the 2 multiplying the vector u, which results vector v as 6, 4, has increased the vector from being 3, 2 to becoming 6, 4. Now I use positive scalar for this, so the increment went alongside the same direction with the original vector. If I had used negative 2 to multiply the vector u, which could have resulted negative 6, negative 4, you see that the extension of this vector will go opposite direction. So anytime a scalar is positive, the increment goes in the same direction with the original vector, and if it is negative, it goes in opposite direction of the vector. I hope that is clear. Now let's take a few examples and see. Let's say you are given these 3 vectors, vector m, n, and r. You want to find 2m plus 3n minus r. It means you want to increase the length of the vector m by 2, n by 3, and then for that of y, r, we just multiply by negative. Okay, so we are going to have 2 into bracket, m gave us 2 neg 1, plus 3 also into brackets, n is 3, 3, minus r, which is neg 2, 5. So we simplify this using our knowledge in addition and subtraction of vectors. But before then, we need to multiply the scalar to the vector. And so here we are going to have 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times neg 1 is negative 2. Then 3 times 3 here is 9. And again, 3 times this 3 also is 9, minus our negative 2, 5. We can do the first addition. 4 plus 9, we know is 13, and negative 2 plus 9 will give us positive 7. Minus into bracket, we still have our answer as this. Now from here, 13 minus negative 2. We see the minus and the negative will become positive. So we have 13 plus 2, which is 15. And then 7 minus 5 is 2. And so that becomes the result for this work. Example number 2. The vector s has been defined, y has been defined, and we want to find half into bracket. Vector s is 3 and neg 5, minus 3 also into bracket. Vector y is neg 5, 3. So we close and we close this bracket as well. So we do bracket first, right? So we can have our half into bracket. Let me keep 3 and negative 5 here, and then do the subtraction. Now here you have to be very careful. I'm leaving the negative here, so I'm going to carry the 3 as a positive scalar to multiply the 5 here, so that I can have negative 15, and then still positive scalar to multiply this to give us 9. And the negative still remains here. Alternatively, I could also carry the negative scalar and maintain positive here, and then let the negative multiply negative to give you positive, multiply this to give you negative as well. Whichever way you go, you get the same answer. So I have my half outside the bracket. Now I'm going to say 3 minus negative 15 will be 18, positive 18. Then negative 5 minus 9 will give us negative 14. So now we are going to multiply by the half. Half times 18 means I'm doing 18 divided by 2. That's what it means. And so that will give me 9. Then half times 14 also means I'm doing negative 14 divided by 2. And that will give me negative 7. And so that becomes the result to this question. I'm sure with these two examples, it has given you better understanding of scalar multiplication of vectors. Go ahead and solve more questions on your own in the textbook. Thanks so much for watching.